Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Our chapter is transportation of materials in living things. So far in our previous video, we discussed these various processes of transportation. We saw there is osmosis, diffusion. We discussed their differences and etc. So today, let's move on to the other part. We'll be discussing the transportation of materials in mammals, specifically the structure of the mammalian heart. So we'll see how the heart of the mammal, how it is made. So the structure of the mammalian heart. Let's move on to it. Uh, Transportation of materials in mammals. Introduction. Let's see that the mammals are complex multicellular organisms whose bodies are made up of numerous cells and tissues. Now, because of this, in this case, diffusion alone or this kind of a simple process alone, it cannot be enough to ensure efficient carrying out of various life processes that are required for the organisms to survive. Now, therefore, mammals have an elaborate transport system that is made up of the heart, blood, and the blood vessels, which they carry out the transportation of these essential materials needed for the living of the organism. Specifically, you are talking about blood and the other crucial nutrients or crucial needed essentials for the survival of the organism. Now, let's move on to the structure of the mammalian heart. The heart is the muscular organ about the size of a closed fist. If you talk about how is it's structured, that functions as the body's circulatory pump. So the heart is a circulatory pump. It pumps the blood from the lungs toward the all parts of the body. Now it takes in this deoxygenated blood through the veins and it delivers it to the lungs for the oxygenation before pumping it into the various arteries. Now the heart is the one that is located in the thoracic cavity between the two lungs. Yeah, and that's where you can locate the lung. So the lung, I mean, you can locate the heart. So the heart is the one that is crucial for the movement, crucial for the flow or the transfer of blood. Specifically, you are talking about the lungs and the body. As we've seen here, it takes the deoxygenated blood through the veins and delivers it to the lungs for that blood to be oxygenated, and before pumping it into the various arteries toward the whole parts of the body. The external structure of the mammalian heart is shown in the label diagram below. So here is the diagram of the external structure of the mammalian heart. In this external structure of the mammalian heart, there are various parts that are labeled here. There is the superior vena cava. We will see their functions. All these parts that are labeled. There's aorta, there's pulmonary artery, left auricle, right auricle, pulmonary vessels, ventricle, inferior vena cava. So all these are just some of the parts that can be seen from the external structure of the mammalian heart. Now, let's move on further discussing the structure of this mammalian heart. The mammalian heart is broad at the top and narrow at the bottom. So that's how it is structured. It is enclosed by a double layer of these tough and elastic membranes called the pericardium. These membranes are the ones that prevent the heart from ever expanding when beating very fast. So these are very crucial just to prevent the heart from over expanding. Also, the pericardium secretes a fluid which it enables the membranes to move smoothly against each other. So this is the other crucial function of the pericardium. Pericardium, it secretes the fluid which it enables the membranes to move smoothly against each other. Uh, the walls of the ventricles, we've seen there are ventricles to the heart when we saw that diagram of the external structure of the heart. The walls of the ventricles are thicker than those of the auricles. The auricles are at the upper part, while the ventricles are the ones at the bottom, because they are thicker than the auricles because the ventricles are the ones that pump blood a greater distance. Uh, I mean, the auricles are the ones that are at the top, the ventricles are the ones that are at the bottom. So the ventricles, they are the ones that just pump blood to a greater distance, so they have these thicker walls. So they are the ones, they are these thicker walls because they pump blood a greater distance than compared to the auricles. The auricles are the ones that pump blood to the ventricles, while the ventricles are the ones that pump the blood to other parts of the body. The left ventricle is the one that is thicker than the right ventricle, because the right ventricle is the one that pumps blood to the lungs, while the left ventricle pumps blood to the rest of the body. The heart consists of four chambers. There are right and left atria, and right and left ventricles. The functions of each part and the associated structures, they are as follows. So here are the functions of all these. The first one, the right atrium links to the right ventricle by the tricuspid valve. This valve is the one that prevents the backflow of the blood into the atrium above when the ventricle contracts. The other one is the left atrium links to the left ventricle by the tricuspid, the bicuspid valve. This bicuspid valve is the one that prevents backflow of the blood into the atrium above when the ventricle contracts. The other one is the semilunar pocket valves, are the ones that are found in the blood vessels leaving the heart, the pulmonary artery, and the aorta. They are the only allow exit. They are the only ones that allow exit of the blood from the heart through these vessels following the ventricle contractions. The other one function of this part, some parts of the heart, the ventricles have these thicker muscular walls than the atria. Atria we're talking about here, the auricles. When each atria contracts, it only needs to pump the blood a short distance into each ventricle, while the ventricles are the ones that pump blood to the distant body parts. Now, this is why they have thicker muscular walls. We've discussed that already. The left ventricle has even thicker muscular walls than the right ventricle. The left ventricle, it needs a more powerful contraction to proper blood to the systemic circulation. That is, all of the body parts are from the lungs. The right ventricle propels blood to the nearby lungs. So that's how it is. So the contraction does not need to be so powerful because it just pumps the blood to the lungs. So that's all I have for this session. We've discussed the mammalian heart. We've seen its concept, the simple introduction to it. We've seen the external structure of the mammalian heart, and we've discussed the functions of the various parts of the heart. So far, we've covered all this. Thank you for listening. In our next session, you'll see and we'll discuss further about the heart of these mammalians. So I hope that's okay, and thank you.